Hello everyone, and welcome to day 9 of 25 Days of Lives. I want to welcome you to Sue's Paper Creations. My name is Sue Phillip. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada here on the West Coast on Vancouver Island. And we have been having tons of fun here over the last 8 days. So this is day number 9, celebrating 25,000 followers. A little thank you, and excited to go live for 25 days and give away 25 giveaways. So we are well on our way. So we're coming up to, well, just over a third of the way. I'm excited. All right, so for tonight, we are doing a monochromatic card. So if you have been following along on all the fun we've been having so far, I have been posting each day just either a little question or something to comment on, which gets you in on the giveaways. I've given away 6 so far, and I'll be doing some more draws at the end of the week. But my question yesterday was what I was going to make a tone. Monochromatic means that you kind of take all the different tones of a certain color and you create something with just all of the same tone. So there was 3 options that you could vote on. We're going to find out tonight what it was. What do you think it is? There was the option of blue-green. There was the option of red-violet. So reds to violet colors, blues to green spectrum, and then red to orange. So I held out to about just over an hour ago to tally up all of the votes. There was tons of you that voted. It was amazing. And we do have a winner by about, I got to peek on my tally here. Okay. So one of the colors got 63 of you chose one of the colors. Okay. One of the color tones. 47 was second place, and 20 was in last place. So do you want to find out what the color tones we're using today are? I'm going to show you, okay? But before I do, what have I got to share with you? My August card club registration is now open, and you can find it in the link. Yeah, I've added the gallery blooms into my PDF store, and I now have a PDF of different ideas for the birthday fancy card kit that Lori and I did a collaborative event on, and we had so much fun. We have a ton of different alternatives, just photos of all the different projects that we made, and also a recipe on how to make a really cool card box. Well, kind of like a gift bag, but it holds a bunch of all your cards. So if anyone wants to jump in and get that birthday fancy kit from either of us, we have got that PDF to email to you. Okay, so you get lots of ideas. All right, so let's hop on down, and I better get my colors out of the way so that I can reveal them. Okay, here we go. Little drum roll. So let's see here. Gail thinks that red-violet won. Barbara thinks that blue-green won. Okay. Any other last minute votes on what you think? I'm going to get out the color wheel, and let me just show you what the options were. Okay, so one of the options was the, am I upside down? Hold on, you can't have that. Okay, I don't want to steer you wrong. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. There, okay. So one of the options was red orange. Okay, one of the options you could vote on was right about there, It's actually had a smidgen of shaded spruce in there. Green blue. Okay. And then another option was, turn the wheel, turn the wheel. I love this color wheel because you can, it gives you ideas like complementary colors, the trifecta colors, so kind of 3 different spots, a triangle on the color wheel, which gives you kind of an orangey color, your navy and greens, and you can switch it, turn it around, and then it matches up the colors. Complementary colors, monochromatic colors. So the last option was, I think it was right about here with the blackberry all the way to the melon mambo. Okay, that was the other option that you could vote on. Okay, so hello again from North Van. Hello, ladies. You know what? We have to, oh, look at us. We're meeting here every day. We got to stop meeting like this, right? No way. We have still got, well, what have we got left? We have got 15 days still of lives. We still have to hang out, right? Okay, so the blue greens were the winners. So we will be using tonight, and it was a vote of, actually I have my tally here. Okay, so 63 of you voted for the blue green. Our purples, which were the red to violet, was the 47, and then the orange to red was the 20. And you know what? I was most intrigued by the orange-red colors because it had coral in there. So I will probably still stick in a couple monochromatic projects in the next few weeks. And you might see some of the other 2 color tones come into play, okay? But we have got some pool party we're going to be using. We have got some coastal cabana, so you can see here as we put all these together. We have got some Lost Lagoon. Look at all this. We have got some pretty peacock. Look at how beautiful these colors are. And then see how there was in this little color wheel where I had it, there was also just a tiny bit of shaded spruce, which gave you that little hint of green and going into the blues. So these are going to be our colors that we're going to create a card with. I'm going to try not to break them up too much. I'm going to use this piece of our designer series paper in the color families. This is the Lost Lagoon. Okay, I'm going to use a little piece of that. And then I'm going to do some stenciling and a little bit of embossing as well. Okay, so I think that you're really going to be impressed on how all these colors come together and they complement each other so beautifully. Okay, so we're going to start with, where to start? We're going to do a little bit of embossing to start. And I'm not going to do any dry embossing. Normally, if I'm going to do lots of layers, I will often do some textured embossing. But this time what we're going to do is we are going to do some heat embossing. And I'm going to show you the magic of actually clear embossing powder. Because often I'm going to use, this is where we're going to pull in a little bit of our shaded spruce. Okay. And I'm going to pull in the shaded spruce and elements of text stamp. Okay, so this is how we're going to start this off. We have got this fabulous stamp right here. Okay. Then we're going to actually get out some masks and we're going to do some shading with all of our different colors. It's going to look very pretty. Now, I don't want to get ink all over my glass mat, so I'm just going to bring in a scrap. And I just finished re-inking this, so we're going to see how even it is, how I did with my re-inking. Oh, I love it. Okay. I think we're good. Look at how beautiful that looks. So what I'm going to do is I want to intensify the color a little bit and add a little bit of shine for this this script that's in the backdrop. So I'm actually going to pull in my clear embossing, and I'm going to put it over top of my stamping. Okay, now you may think, well, you can't really use clear embossing powder or embossing powder with these water-based inks. You can, but you have to work fairly quickly, okay? Because they do dry quite a bit faster than, of course, your pigment inks. Your pigment inks really, they have moisture, they hold the moisture a little bit longer, so therefore they work really well with embossing. But you can still use just your clear powder, and you can go over any color, and then when you heat it up, you're going to see what happens. Okay, hi from down the road in Victoria. Hello, Matt. Okay, so you're going to see in a minute that this is going to make the color brighten up, because what it does is it adds a clear film over top, and when we do our heat embossing, it also adds some texture because it raises up that ink, right? Your image. Okay. So let's see if you can see a little bit of the shine here. It's kind of hard to see it, but see that? You can see it a little bit. You can see how that is quite dark now, and it does kind of, you can see how, there you go, you can see it kind of raised up a little bit. And if you were to see it in person, you would see that it has a glossiness to it, where when you first stamp it, just on paper, you don't get that glossiness. And as I run my hand over it, I can feel it, okay? I can feel the script on there, all right? So that is going to be our first way of adding a little bit of tone on tone, okay? So there's that one. Now, I am going to take this piece next, which is our Lost Lagoon, okay? And I'm going to, again, I want it to stand out a little bit more. I'm going to, do I have my large block in play? I do. I'm going to bring in actually this layers of beauty. This stamp is a beauty. It is beautiful. So I'm going to take this big, huge stamp, and I am going to just add some ink to it. So this stamp I have used many times on Tone. This is the Layers of Beauty is what it is, gal. And this one has been around for probably just over a year. It came out, I think, in one of the spring catalogs. But it is the most beautiful set of roses and little daisies in here. And it has masks that are going to shade it up. So you will have, like, we're going to go through some tones, some darker tones on here. We're going to bring in the Lost Lagoon. We're going to bring in the Pretty Peacock, a little bit of shaded spruce. And then I might add, and it might be, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to try it yet. I think I will, and I'll use clear embossing after it. But I might put a little bit of craft white over top of the leaves after I do them a color, just to have the same kind of frosted look as this paper. Okay, so let's get out. I'm going to do it with Pretty Peacock, and we are going to work quickly. So when you do go to emboss a water-based ink, you have to remember that your ink is going to dry quite quickly. Okay, so I just want to see where do I want, which way do I want this to go? I think I want it to go this way. And this is what I want it to go on. So I'm going to go down here. We're going to stamp it. Okay. So yes, elements of text, exactly, Una. It is the background stamp that has, it's beautiful because it's got, I'll show you the other ones in it. It is quite pretty. No, the talking. What is the chatter in the background? Talking. Can you guys hear chatter in the background? I know Lance is up there talking with someone. There we go. Look at that. But they shouldn't be too loud. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to add the powder on here nice and quickly. Okay. And what it's going to do is it's going to cling to it. Good, you can only hear me. Well, that's a good thing. So it's not going to add a whole lot to it because as you can see, this powder is already drying and there's only a little bit of it on here, but it will add a little bit of the gloss that I want. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you another trick after this. Gonna heat it up. Oh yeah, look at that. So this really, oh that voice is just my husband chatting with somebody. Okay. There. Okay, so look at how beautiful that is. So it does, again, if I bring it up close, see how you have that little bit of gloss on there? And it makes the stamp color look slightly darker. Okay. Now, see how I can catch that light just a little bit and it shows you the shine. So this is going to be a perfect way in which it's really going to outline and intensify that pretty peacock color. I'm going to start doing the masks and I'm going to start adding some other colors to it. Okay, so I'm going to bring in these coordinating masks. If you have not used the masks before, they are so fun. There's actually 5 different masks. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a tiny bit of adhesive just to the back of this, okay? All right, so let's see. And we're just going to add a little dot there. And I'm going to pop that down. Okay, that's just going to keep this piece of paper in one spot so that when I go to do the texturing and stuff over top, then do you have video running in the background? I do not. I do not. Just one sec though, okay? Hey Lance, could you just turn the TV down a little bit? They can hear noise in the background. Thank you. Yeah, probably that too. Okay. So let's see here. He's turned it down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, now let me just see. These are the masks here, and they have got numbers on them. Now I may be, let's see. I got to see which one I've got up and which one I've got down here. 1, 2. Hold on. Do I have the right set? I might have the wrong set of masks. Hold on, everyone. I just want to just check which ones these are. If this is the right, there's the 2 flowers. I think this is the right one. I'm pretty sure. 1, 2. Maybe if I turn it this way. Oh yeah, there we go. It is the right one. I do have another set, which is, this is Layers of Beauty, but I have Beauty Abound, and that's a different set. of masks. I just want to make sure I had the right ones that match up. So you can see that this is going to highlight the flowers, and you can guide it till you have the image within the space, and then you can take a pen, and I'm just going to mark right up here with a pencil. See this little notch in the mask? I'm just going to pop that on there like that. Okay, so that means that when I add on the next mask, it is going to make sure that I line it up perfectly. Okay, hello everyone. All right, so now what we can do is we are going to add a little tone on tone. So I'm going to start with the Lost Lagoon. Okay, so this is the same color as the cardstock. It's going to make just a subtle shading on here, but it's going to be a subtleness that you will definitely notice when I take the mask off. Because we are going over the exact same color, I'm going to go a little bit heavier than what I would normally do. Okay, so if you just tuned in, we're doing a monochromatic card. We did a poll yesterday. I pulled a poll to see which colors you guys would prefer to see, and majority wanted to see green, blue, green shades. So here you have it. Okay, that should start it off. So see how, look at that. See how we have got the exact same color as the actual cardstock, but just shading it up like that gives you a gorgeous tone on tone. Okay, so let's now we go to number 2. I'm just going to find it. We've got all these masks, and this is number 2. It has a little 2 up in the corner, and I'm going to place it with the notch just like that. That's going to help me guide this and line it up. Okay, let's see, that is pretty good. Okay, so there is the shading there. Now I have got one more that is going to give even more detail to the flower. So I've got a slightly darker color. I have got the Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to try going in with a little bit of that over top, just a tiny bit. This is a another shade darker. So the Pretty Peacock is same tone, but it's just a darker color. So I'm going to go in over top, and again, just watching my placement here. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go over top like this. Okay, and when I pull this away, you may not think that we added a lot of color, but look at the difference. So see, now we've got a little bit more tone in there. Do you see that? Okay, so that is the second mask. Now I'm going to add one more, and we're going to add even more of a darker color on top of this. This is number 3. And number 3 is going to go the inside of the flower, and see how I line it up. I find something that it lines up with perfectly, and that little tiny circle, and I can start to see some of these lines here pop into place, and this little circle here. Okay, so these are going to be the insides of those flowers. We're going to go a little bit more with the Pretty Peacock, so a little bit heavier handed, add a little bit more shading like this. This is going to be so beautiful when it's done, and we still have the leaves still to shade in a little bit. Okay, So there we have got even a little bit more shading in there. Okay, so that is number 3. Isn't that beautiful? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some leaf elements. And for this one, we've done 1, 2, and 3. Put those aside. Like, could you imagine these with shades of the other tones that we had to choose from? Like the purples, the reds to purples would be beautiful with the freesia in there, the melon mambo. And I'm trying to think what else was in there. The melon mambo. Oh, the berry burst would look stunning. Okay. And then the oranges and the reds with the corals. So I will play a little bit throughout the month with some of the other tones and using them with other products. Just because everyone had their favorites, right? And I don't like to not use some of the colors that you wanted to see. So we'll play a little bit with the other ones. I'm going to bring in this shaded spruce, which it's more of a darker green and it's more of a bluish bluish green. And see how that has undertones of blue in it? So this was right next to some of all the rest of those blues, the Pretty Peacock and the Lost Lagoon. It was right next to it on the color wheel. So we're going to bring this one in, and because it's going over that Lost Lagoon cardstock, it's going to even take on more of a tone-on-tone feel to it and just bring in a tiny element of greeny blue to it to give those leaves a little bit more. Ready? There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, this is where I had thought of bringing in just a hint of white to highlight the greens a little bit. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we should try it? Should we try it, or should we go a little bit darker with the green? I thought it might be nice with a little kind of hint of a touch of white, but because it's going over top of the green, then it's going to be more of kind of a greeny tone, like it'll have green undertones to it. So let me know, should we do it? Should we not do it? Try it. Try it, right? I will try it, then you guys will know. That's always a good idea. So I'm going to just grab what I'm going to need for this one. I think is a little dauber is what's going to be perfect. Let me see if I have got one. I think I do. Okay. All right, I do have a little dauber here, but I think this will work. Okay, let's try it. Let's try a little bit of white, right? Then we'll see if we like it or not. We might be like, oh, I don't know about that. We can always blend it out a little bit, but it might add kind of more like a highlight to it. And by white, I mean just a little bit. I'm not going to add a lot to it. Just enough to see if we even like it. Okay, I feel like I need to do like a little practice. I haven't used, I want to get the feel of how much white I want to put on there. So what I'm doing is see how that is a lot of white. We don't want that much white. Okay, we want to do just a slight shading. Okay, I'm used to the blending brushes. I haven't used daubers for a while. Okay, I think this is going to work. So we're just rubbing it over just a little bit. It's going to, I think, look pretty good. Well, you'll let me know. You may say, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Or we might think, wow, that was magical. Okay, be honest. You got to be honest with me, right? We're in this together. All right. You don't see that much of it, but you do see just, I can take this away now. See how it did lighten up those leaves? Just a little bit. And I do think that I like it. Very pretty. Try it. If you don't like it, you can use another piece of cardstock to remake the flowers. I could do that. It's just paper. There's two sides, right? But I like it. I do like that. Now, I'm just going to brush off the excess, just a little bit there, because there's a little bit, because it is a craft. But it did tone down those leaves a little bit, and I do like it. So where it's sitting over top of is a little bit over top of our embossing. So remember we did the embossing over with the main color to do the outline. So a little bit of it is sitting on there. I'm just brushing it off so we see those lines again. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so there we have got our tone on tone. It is subtle, right? Adds a little bit of interest, yes. And it just breaks up and gives you just elements of different colors of green on your leaves, because your leaves aren't just one color. Okay, all right, so let's pull in. Remember, we are just using greens and blues. That was the rule for tonight. I am going to frame it in the gorgeous pretty peacock, so that is just the darker color. I love it. And we are going to put just an element of the white right there. We have got our script down on this side. Okay. And then we do have a little greeting already done that says thinking of you, that I'm going to put over here somewhere like that. Okay, that is looking pretty good. Not bad. I had about an hour to figure out what I was going to do, because I wanted everyone to be able to vote on what colors to use. So I wasn't sure. I worked all day today. It was a busy day today. And I came home, did a quick tally, and here we are. Those shades of blue are looking beautiful. Okay. Now I do also have, I went into my stash of little scraps. Not only do I have a stash of scraps of paper, which you have seen many cards in the last little while used with extra little strips of my scraps of paper, but I do have a bin of like the leftover pieces that are on spools of ribbon as well. And this one is from probably about a year ago, and it is just a sheen to it, but it is Pool Party, which is this base color. So I want to incorporate this in as well. I just want to see if I have enough to wrap around. I do, to wrap around this piece and maybe do a little bow on here. We can at least do a tie. We'll see what we've got. See what my fingers can do. I like the fact that it is clear, so you can still see your image through it. It is not taking away. It's just adding a little bit of shininess, just like our subtle embossing. So very subtle ways to change up your card tonight with your embossing with clear powder. We've got some shimmery clear ribbon. We've got some shading, that little bit of white to change up the hue a little bit. That is very pretty. I'm going to pop that out with some dimensions. Where are you? Here you are. And then we're going to add our greeting on there too. Okay. Now I thought about bringing in a white card base and elements of white as well. But I wanted to try and really stick to just using the hues of blue and green that were on the color wheel next to each other. Okay, just to really kind of get the feel of it. I'm going to put it on an angle to add a little interest, and that way then I can also do our little greeting down here, and I'm going to pull it off to the side more, and that way it doesn't cover up this flower. In fact, I'm going to just snip this just a little bit like that, and I might trim it just a little bit more so that it doesn't go over top of the flower. So I'm just going to trim it down just a smidgen. You know, that's very technical measurement, a smidgen. As crafters, we know what a smidgen is, right? Okay, let's glue this on. Okay, there we go. Now, was this? Hold on a second. Was this the way it was? We got to decide. Or do we want it like that and that's hanging down? These flowers are going up. This vine is going up. I'm going this way. I think originally I had it the other way, but I'm going to go this way. There we go. And that way my greeting will kind of go right over here. I don't think it matters which way it goes. Okay, then we're going to bring this just right here, tuck it up, and pull it in. Maybe just slide it a little bit that way, and we're going to pop this up. Okay. Toss the dimensionals backings at him. My goodness, he is like, he's like a lint roller when it comes to those things. His fur picks up all the goodies that are left on my craft room floor. Okay, I'm going to bring it right about there. Now I got to make sure this is level. So I'm doing the greeting level with the edge, but when you have an element that is crooked on your card, it takes you a second to line that up. Yeah, that looks pretty good, and I'm going to trim it off. Just like that. Okay, so now we've got the thinking of you, just like so. And I want to just add another element of shine to here. Okay, we've got the ribbon, which gives us a little bit of shine, but I thought that these holographic dots would look really pretty, because even just holding them next to all the blue tones, they pick up and reflect the colors of blue and green really, really well. So see how pretty they're going to look over top of there. So we're going to add like a larger one there, and then a smaller one here like that, and then 1, 2. I am going to do one over here, 3. I'm going to do 1, 1, 2, 3. Let's do one here, 4, and I like to do in 5, so I'm going to put one right over here. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I want it on this side for sure, so I'll put it down this corner. Okay, so there we have got a little bit of shine on there. Now, can you see, now that it's put together, can you see the difference how that little bit of embossing does on the outline of the flowers? It just, I put it on the angle here so you could see it. So see that? Just a little bit of lift on the edges of those petals of the flowers, and it really does make it so that when you're shading, it kind of keeps it within the flower and highlights the shading a little bit more. Okay, and then you can also see a little bit of lift in the words as well, a tiny bit of shine back there. Again, that was just the clear embossing powder. I even put it over top of the words on this one too, and you can see that they have a little bit more of a shine, and you can feel the texture when you put your finger over there. And then we've got all of our different shadings. So we used all of those colors that were within our color wheel. So that was them right there. There we go. Those were the colors that we used. Every single one of them is on the card. We got the pool party, we got the coastal, we got the Lost Lagoon, we colored with the pretty peacock, and we did shading with the shaded spruce. Whew. Didn't know if we were going to get them all in there, but we did it. Okay. And we brought that green tone down a little bit with a little bit of craft white on the leaves. Okay. There you go. Monochromatic card. Now, you know what's coming up next tomorrow? For those of you watching, do you remember one of the first days of my 25 days of lives, I did a scrappy card, right? Because you know I love to use my scraps. And I did a scrappy card yesterday with those cute little turtles. And like you knew was going to happen, I had to end up using up all the little scraps to make a tag as well. That's just me. So what my challenge is going to be for you for tomorrow, and I will post this card tomorrow morning, and then I want you to make a monochromatic card. It does not matter what color tone you decide to use, whether it is oranges, reds, purples, greens, yellows, oranges, whatever color makes you happy. That's what I want you to create with, and I would love to see what you come up with. It does not have to be the detail that is on this one. It could just be some layers. It could be just gonna go like that. It could be even with the designer series papers, because with these paper packs, they are already built to be some tone on tone. So you may have some papers that have tone on tones in them, and then you could stamp, you know, a darker version of a color on a lighter version. You could run a layer of, say, a darker color blue or a lighter color blue. Instead of stamping in the background like I did along the edge, you could put a textured layer of one of the shades. Okay, so I want you to have fun with it. I'm giving you a little heads up. You can run around, see what scraps you have of certain colors, and I would love to see what you guys create of a tone on tone card. Okay, so you will see this one posted 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, our giveaway post, and you can post your photo in the comments. Okay, I'll give you a couple days for it because it could take a bit. You have to wait till you have some time, but yeah, I can't wait to see what you come up with. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining me again. We have got a few more days to hang out in a row for sure. Like I said, we've got, well, we're on 9, right? We have 20, we're going to do 25. So we have got still 16 days. Yeah, 16 days left to go. And we're going to do some more creating together. So I will see you tomorrow. I am going to try and either go on earlier at 5 or early in the morning. Either way, you're going to see me come on at some point. You may have to catch the replay. My brother is in town from Toronto, and I am meeting up with him for dinner. So I will figure out a time, and I have to work tomorrow too. So that's why it's either going to be early in the morning before work, or it will be right when I get home. I will make a quick and easy card for you, and before I head out for dinner. But we will see each other tomorrow for sure for day 10. Okay? Take care, everyone, and see you tomorrow.